You ever do something so normal, so absolutely by the book, that it spirals into a full-blown circus with cops, neighbors, and enough drama for a whole season of daytime TV? Because I never expected that just wanting a little peace and privacy around my own pool would turn into the wildest showdown I've ever had with my neighborhood. And if you'd told me it would all start with a smart lock and end with Karen threatening civil war, I'd have laughed. Yeah, right. But here we are. Here's how it went down. Saturday morning, the kind where you hear the sprinklers and birds, but also a headache brewing, because my backyard, my little haven, had started feeling like a train station. Every week, it was the same story. Neighborhood kids, especially Karen's son, who I swear thinks he's entitled to VIP access to the world, were sneaking in. Sometimes they'd leave a wet towel or empty cans as a calling card. Sometimes I'd see the lights flick on around midnight, catch shadows darting behind the pool house. Did I ever say yes? Not once. Did it stop them? Of course not. Thing is, I'm not the Grinch here. I get it. Pool's tempting, kids get bored. But I'd been losing sleep over it, picturing someone slipping, getting hurt, and their parents showing up at my door with a lawyer in tow. The final straw? Coming home early one afternoon, spotting Karen's son and a couple friends halfway through a cannonball contest, music blasting, zero remorse. I told them to get out, and that was that. Except the looks they gave me said, this isn't over. So yeah, next weekend, I invested in a smart lock, keypad, app, the whole works. Peace of mind, I thought. Maybe a chance to finally sit out back with a drink and not play lifeguard for the whole street. Got my coffee, lined up my tools, was maybe even enjoying myself a bit. And then, cue the villain entrance. Karen's son strolls up, hands stuffed in his hoodie, mouth twisted into a smirk. What's that supposed to be? He asks, voice dripping with attitude. Just locking things up? I reply, not even looking up. He huffs, mutters something about not fair, then disappears. That's when I should have known. 10 minutes, tops, and I hear sirens, real sirens, getting closer. I glance up, heart pounding, and there it is, a cruiser, lights flashing, right outside my house. Karen's son leading the way, pointing like he's on an episode of Cops. That's him, he yells. He's locking us out. Now, you ever have a moment where your brain just glitches? Because I'm standing there, screwdriver in hand, in broad daylight, on my own damn property, and suddenly I'm the villain. The officers come over, keeping it cool, but the look on their faces says they're already tired. Sir, we got a call about a dispute over this pool fence. Mind explaining? One asks. I take a deep breath, because, honestly, what else can you do? And tell them, this is my pool. My backyard. The only people swimming here are me or whoever I invite. Karen's son, of course, jumps in, puffed up like a rooster. That's not true. My mom says this pool was meant for everyone. He's just being selfish. I could practically see the script Karen had drilled into his head. Cops do that cop thing. Raise an eyebrow, trade glances, play it neutral. But this isn't my first HOA rodeo. I'm ready. I go inside, grab the folder I keep for exactly these situations. You deal with enough HOA headaches, you learn fast. Hand over the property records. Look, no communal anything. Not even the HOA manages this. It's mine, period. Officer flips through, nods, hands it back. Looks clear to me, he says. For half a second, I think it's over. But then, storm warning. Karen herself comes barreling out, hair wild, phone already up, shouting so loud you could hear her 3 houses down. Officer, officer. He's putting in some weird electronic lock to keep us out. That pool is community property. She's got that look, you know? Like she's auditioning for the Real Housewives of Suburbia. She marches right up to the fence, poking her finger at me, rants about community spirit and how I'm destroying the trust of the neighborhood. I try, really, to stay calm, but my voice comes out sharp. Karen, your son has been trespassing for weeks. I'm putting this lock in to keep him and anyone else from breaking in again. That's it. The officers are shifting, clearly wishing they were anywhere else. Karen's son tries again, switching to, but what if a kid gets locked inside? It's a hazard. The irony almost knocks me over, but I keep it together. The only hazard is kids breaking in where they don't belong, I tell them. Karen huffs, face going red, and throws out the ultimate threat. You'll be hearing from the HOA about this. At this point, the officer cuts in. Ma'am, Does the HOA actually manage this pool? Karen stammers, sputters, but she knows the answer. No. She goes off about expectations and unwritten rules, but it's clear as day she's got nothing to stand on. The officers wrap things up, recommend I keep records if it happens again, and leave. Karen and her son slink off, but you can just feel it. That storm isn't done brewing. As soon as the sun goes down, sure enough, my motion lights snap on. There's Karen's son at the fence, tugging at the new lock like he's got something to prove. When it doesn't budge, he kicks it, hard. I'm watching from the window, phone recording, not about to miss this. Then, wouldn't you know, he calls 911, again, yelling so loud it echoes across the whole block. Yeah, he's locked the pool again. He's holding community property hostage. Send someone. I swear, the drama in this kid could win an Oscar. So here come the cops, again, same two, looking even more fed up. I meet them at the gate, phone in hand. Karen's out again too, bathrobe flying, voice already up to 11. Officers, arrest him. He's tampering with property that's not his. I don't even flinch. Before you listen to her, watch this. I say, showing them the video. Her son kicking the gate, calling 911, trespassing in full HD. For a second, there's silence. One cop turns to Karen's son. Is this you? Kid tries to dodge, but the officer shuts it down. That's trespassing and property damage. Karen loses it. He's just a kid. You can't charge him for wanting to use the pool. But this time, the officer holds his ground. Ma'am, this is private property. You've both been told. Come back here again, and there will be consequences. For the first time, Karen's speechless. Her son's just standing there, all the swagger drained away. The officers leave after a final warning, and I look right at them. One more step on my property, and you're getting arrested. Last chance. They storm off. I finish locking the gate, the smart lock glowing like a tiny shield in the dark. And for once, I actually breathe easy. You'd think that was the end, but you know how life works. A week goes by, and I actually start relaxing. But then, a twist. My next-door neighbor, Mr. Walker, a guy I barely know except for awkward waves and borrowed tools, knocks on my door. I expect another complaint, or maybe he's here to take Karen's side. But no. He tells me quietly he's been dealing with the same thing. Karen's son had jumped his fence twice, even tried the back door once. Turns out, this whole community access thing was just code for let my kid do whatever he wants. Walker says he's glad someone finally stood up to it. That changes everything for me. Suddenly, I'm not alone. I'm just the first to say enough is enough. We swap numbers, talk about maybe getting a few other neighbors on board, and I realized this wasn't just about a lock. It was about someone finally drawing a line. So what did I get out of all this? No apology from Karen, no sorry from her son. But after that night, they never came back. The lock did its job, and the cops' warning sealed the deal. My pool's quiet. My property feels like mine again. Sometimes, in the evenings, I sit out back, listen to the crickets, and watch the smart lock blink. Just a little reminder that peace is earned, not given. But here's what sticks with me. Karen still waves when she drives by, but there's steel in her eyes. Her son keeps his distance. And maybe, somewhere out there, another Karen is plotting. Another neighbor is one bad week away from their own showdown. That's suburbia for you. One person's common sense is another's outrage, and community can mean 100 different things. So, you tell me, was I right to stand my ground? Is locking my own pool just defending what's mine, or is it killing the spirit of the neighborhood? Is there ever a time when drawing the line just isn't worth the battle? Drop your take below, because I know I'm not the only one who's ever had to fight for a little peace at home. And hey, if you've got your own neighborhood war story, don't hold back. I could use a laugh or a warning for what's next.